Hello, my name is Wes Dawson. Welcome back to Gabagool 8, and what an episode to land on, as this is the Vibe Check Fire Deadass-Drip episode. I don't know, are those horns still in? If not, maybe this will be better.
Go babies, go babies, go.
Actually, I think this sound clip might be a bit more appropriate. This is the super hip and in touch with the youth episode. People are wondering if I have my finger on the pulse. Guess what? I am 2 knuckles deep into the pulse, so let's get at it. Now, a lot of people will say, hey, Wes, you're too old and out of touch. First off, I'm not that old. I own a skateboard. It may be a Bob Burnquist deck from like 20 years ago, but I still wear Vans when I can be bothered to bend over to tie them. Regardless, I'm very much in touch with the youth of today. I can't quite put my fingers in it, but I have this inexplicable desire to touch the youth of today. So let's get going. You know, in previous episodes, I gave a little too much flack to the youth of today and the new generations, but I would like to clarify I was doing that as an objective third-party observer. These were not my personal opinions. I'm hip, I'm trendy, and the first rule being hip and trendy is using words like hip and trendy. So for this episode, I went full method actor. I got a perm done on my hair. I shaved off the sides. I have like this camo-esque tie-dye shirt that's about a 4XL, and I have way too much jewelry on. It's not a passment of judgment. I'm just amazed at the amount of jewelry people want to wear today. It's like I'm so concerned about scraping my guitar or bashing my teeth in, can't be bothered to wear even one ring, let alone my wedding ring. So I do feel I have a strong connection with the youth of today, because you know what? There's nothing I love more than sloppy lip syncing, apathy, and reminding everyone why I'm better than you and why you just don't get me. I love this new culture. It's almost like emo is back, except replace the distorted guitars and cool songs with crappy synth music, but again, not a passment of judgment. Sometimes I like to crank my amp up to 10 and just bat the end of my guitar cord onto the piece of metal and get that kind of feedback noise. I love it. One thing I did notice, though, is that a lot of the youth of today, they become like a real-life personification of Bart Simpson. Better yet, the youth of today have become living extreme Sour Patch Kids, you know, tongue out, middle finger to the skies, you just don't get us, man, yeah. And this weird obsession with irony and like meta memes, it's turned people into like a satire of what they were rejecting and trying to distance themselves from in the first place. Because nothing says shock the system like displaying your emotional and creative capacity through mushmouth 10 seconds of lip syncing somebody else's art and then adding a middle finger at the end. It's like the live action of spray painting just the word fuck on a wall. That's badass. And speaking of spray painting, is graffiti a thing that kids do anymore? Is that still current? I need to know this to keep my dossier up to date. Like, kids, are you aware of what I'm talking about? You know, aerosol cans with paint inside? Your parents would spray them into brown paper bags shortly before your pregnancy and then huff that in for good times? No? All right, well, moving on. And another thing I see prominently displayed on social media and with this new generation is this strong support of women's liberation and sexual empowerment. The youth of today is finally recognizing that self-respect, common courtesy, and a reasonable social etiquette are all tools of the patriarchy. So let them fly, ladies. Shake them up, lick them lips, moan in liberty. I am standing in solidarity with you. As long as you're over 18. If you're not, then stay the fuck away from my feed. But I will have to say, one thing with like TikTok vids, I find it weird how many repetitive ones there are. It's almost as though you're tracing somebody else's drawing and then getting a gold star for it. Like in almost any other industry, this is unheard of. In comedy, if you steal somebody else's joke, it's like a carnal faux pas. And here's the thing with Reels. What I don't like with Instagram Reels is nothing on it is real. Yes, I understand it's spelled R-E-E-L, but all these there's like Russians sexually assaulting women and they pretend like they love it. Or I've never seen a Russian or an Asian posted video that's supposed to be like a real life captured thing that's in any way close to reality. I don't really get what's going on. Of course, we have the ostrich defense or the, you're a toxic hater. The thing is, Instagram needs a dislike button. And it's not to be hating. I just want to teach the algorithm to stop putting these pathetic thirst traps in my feed. I use Reels and TikTok for a specific purpose. And of course that reason being to find cute animal videos to show my mother, awesome bales and fails for myself to watch, and to watch some attractive young women liberate themselves online. It's wonderful. And of course in these posts, there's always like 3 kinds of comments. There's one of people who are obviously huffing that aforementioned spray paint because they find them legitimately entertaining. 2, people calling it out for being cringy garbage. And 3, people standing up for the posters like, you don't need to post about them. Let them be them. Who are you to say this? And it's like defending them as though you know them personally, and when typically it's like a bot account reposting celebrities' things, and people are up in arms in defense of them, calling everybody toxic and haters. Another weird thing is this like romanticized version of piracy. I've seen a bunch of girls post these videos like, a pirate's life for me. I don't know if you're quite aware how good a swashbuckling time it was for women in the 1600s, or just about anywhere in the world around that time and even today. Kind of rough seas ahead, but you do you. Well, let's dive into some youth-centric good bads. A good 90s marketing to kids. All you had to do was add the word extreme, drop the first E, and it's a goddamn verifiable hit. A bad, today kids see right through this shit. Like, Simple Trade have these like blue-haired young people like, there's no need for lengthy research or years experience. Simply pick a stock, do your research, and start trading. So basically you're saying you don't need to do a bunch of research, but do your research and then invest in stocks. Great plan. And then download some app that'll cap you from actually making any money. Cough, cough, GameStop, Robinhood. Anybody remember that from a few months ago? A good. Skinny jeans are out. The bad. Leggings are in, and I don't quite see the difference. At least one of them have pockets, and you don't see Joe Camel, blowing you kisses every few minutes. A good, big, oversized clothing is finally in style. The bad? Well, there is no bad. If you've ever been to a strip club, you'll welcome loosely fitting sweat clothes. And also, I am just waiting for airwalks and bleach tips to make a comeback, and somehow this unique original look will come full circle, and what was in vogue 20 years ago will be back. It's almost like fashion is cyclical. It's this crazy theory of mine. A good, that celebrity is dead. The bad? Well, there is no bad, because I'm tired of watching people hone and perfect their craft that they've been dedicated to in order to entertain others. That's some bullshit right there. Give me some eye rolls and some unauthentic dancing. Thank you very much. Well, skirt. Let's yeet this episode out the window because we're all out of time. So, upcoming for next week, well, we take on the boomers and the quote-unquote greatest generation. What was so great anyway? So they wrote the first stories about World War II that were then adapted into Call of Duty games? Big whoop, alright? So please listen, like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you next Wednesday. And don't forget, if it's a hit, it ain't lit. And who's ever pissing in my mailbox, could you please stop? It's not like it's a mailbox at the end of my driveway, it's in the post office. It's friggin' disgusting.